to, Ohio or
absolutely.
Alabama or whatever to get a good,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
All right, so before we transition to the next phase, I
Uh-huh.
feel like that's the perfect time for Monroe's random ass question.
Okay.
So we got to pause for our music that we don't have yet, but it's coming. I think by the time Colton's video airs, there's going to be this music right here. I don't even know how long it is. I'm thinking like 5 or 6 seconds.
I'm
All right, and now Monroe's random ass question.
Uh-huh.
I got some things coming along
Oh,
here.
God.
Okay.
Going big time. Oh yeah, and we're taking submissions for Monroe's random ass question.
Yeah. If you have any
so-
ideas,
Yeah,
put them
yeah.
in the
Put them
comments.
on. Just go on to Instagram. Follow. I ain't gonna listen to you unless you follow and have at least liked 3 things. All right. And I'm gonna hop over to YouTube and see if you've watched enough video.
That's right.
All right.
Your participation isn't good enough unless it meets the arbitrary standard that Monroe sets.
Yeah, making us popular. All right. So, this is the question we got here. All right. This is still a Monroe original because I know that you've probably had a couple. I don't know. Well, you might have cruised around, but this is best. I'll even if you want to go worst, if you have a worst, best, and if you have one, worst road trip that you've ever taken.
For sport or just in life?
No, in your life.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And if you guys want to think about it, I could start because that's kind of a unless it came right to your head. All right, because I have both really good ones.
Okay, hit us with it.
Okay, so the best road trip, just got back from Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
No kids yet, so it's just me and my wife. And we did
Children are a burden.
it makes long road trips tougher, that's for sure. We went to first to the Redwoods
Oh,
down in Northern California, continued down like with San Francisco and all of the Northern California things, went down to Los Angeles, did like 3 or 4 days in LA, Hollywood, and all of the things that you do in Los Angeles. Went over to Vegas for a couple of days,
Mm-hmm.
suite in the Bellagio, spending that Afghanistan money, you know what I mean? Like super irresponsibly.
Every penny you make, 30 grand as
Oh, yeah,
infantry, and you
yeah,
spend
yeah.
it all at the
Yeah.
Bellagio.
Out of all the things I spent with my Afghanistan money, I only own one thing still,
Oh.
because we just spent everything and then slowly had to sell it back off as I was just broke because I got out of the military. I still have a poker set. That's it. A poker
Okay.
set. It's my
Okay.
prized poker set. Truck gone, quad gone, house we were in gone. But went to Vegas, saw the Blue Man Group. That was
Yeah.
pretty awesome. If you've never seen those and you're in Vegas, if they're still doing it, I think they are. Freaking awesome. And then back, drove kind of north through like Utah and Idaho and stuff. Like by
Mhm.
far the best.
Yeah.
Beautiful, awesome. We stayed in the locations long enough that it wasn't like we were waking up and driving again. Like we stayed a couple days at each location. Freaking awesome. Worst is Christmas 2 years ago. So like probably 2023, I think. We go and visit like on the 20th, go and visit family in Arizona, Phoenix. But it was cheaper to fly into Vegas and then rent a car
Uh-huh.
and drive than it was to just fly into Phoenix.
Okay.
So it's like, whatever, we'll go, we'll see the Grand Canyon, we'll do this Christmas thing in Flagstaff, drive down. Drive down was cool.
Nice.
Maybe a little long, but it was awesome. We start driving back on the return trip, and it's a blizzard in Seattle. So we're waiting in the airport in Vegas, not necessarily a place that I really want my children to be hanging out for a real long time, at the age of 12 and 8 or a little bit younger. But we're sitting in the terminal. Okay, we're waiting. We've probably been there like 3 hours. They're canceling all sorts of flights to Seattle, but ours isn't canceled. Cancel more. Ours isn't canceled. So like everybody that's in there is like, there must be something about ours. Either the pilot's got to get back, or there's somebody on this flight that's like, we're going, because it's the only Seattle flight not canceled
Right.
for like 8 hours, and they're just delaying. They're like, they're getting it. They're gonna clear the runway. We're going. Don't worry about it. We're going. So we're in the terminal legitimately, I think, for 8 or 9 hours, and they cancel it.
Yeah.
And so the thing about the cancellation is you got to go to the desk and then like reschedule your flight. So I walk down there. There is probably 4,000 people in this line because
Yeah.
they've been in. Like I'm
8
the
hours.
last flight.
8 hours. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I go up and I hear people talking. They're like, there's so many people that are displaced that by slowly putting them on flights, like it's like 6 days. You're going to be in Vegas for like 6 days before you ever.
Right.
And it was like, screw this. I'm renting a car. You know, I'll just drive. I don't give a crap. I can make that. So we go rent a car, but I didn't realize you couldn't, like, even though it's like Hertz and Hertz, you can't rent a Hertz car in Vegas and just drop it off in SeaTac. They don't like that. They will
rent a U-Haul
for like another $1,000.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I was like, whatever, pay. So now it's like I'm already inconvenienced. We're leaving. It's getting dark, and if you've ever driven through northern Nevada, it's like it is so dark it's disorienting. You can't tell where the sides of the roads are, or if it's a cliff or you're on desert, because there's no light. It's just flat dark. Drive up to Reno. As soon as we start leaving, one of my kids and my wife flew.
Oh,
They're
no.
vomiting. We're stopping on the side of these roads. Who the hell knows what's out here? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like all sorts of creatures. Just sickness. We get to Reno. I sleep. She was supposed to take over and drive, so I drove until I was like cracked out, tired.
Uh-huh.
And then we wake up like 2 hours later when we had to leave again, because this is like December 23rd. Like we have stuff happening in like 12 hours for Christmas Eve.
Right.
And she's like, I can't. I'm vomiting everywhere. We literally had to steal the casinos that we stayed in, casino's garbage can, and bring it to the, like, that's how sick everybody was. So it's just like now it's the rest of the way driving into snow. The snow was from Northern California to Washington. It was insane.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense storm.
Just falling asleep. I was on like my 8th Monster, you know what I mean? Like just cracked out. There's just cars all over the sides of the roads. Just, dude, I got home. That was the most miserable trip I've ever been on.
Yeah.
So that's the shittiest road trip. And my kids won't even, they're like, hey, we're going to go to this. They're like, how far away is it? It's like 1 hour. They're like, we're not interested. Like, no, trust me, it's going to be, they're like, I don't think they'll ever drive anywhere ever again. I like ruined road trips for the kids. Like,
yeah, just forever.
it's bad. Yeah.
You got one? A best and a worst?
Yeah, they're both trips to Wyoming, of
Yeah.
all places. And so when COVID happened, this will be the worst. It was such a quick deal. It's like you get an email from the school, and it's like, rest of the year's canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Then it's like I'm hearing rumors that they're going to start shutting down like road travel, like shutting down state borders and stuff. So me and my roommate, he was from Newberg, Oregon, and I'm from Shelton, Washington. And dude, we're just packing our rigs. Like we just pulled up on the lawns.
Yeah, so they
open.
like
Get out of there as fast as you can.
kicked you out of the dorms and everything because was there an
No.
option to stay?
Yeah,
Like, could kids
like
stay?
you could have stayed,
Okay.
but I'm like, I'm getting home. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on,
It
but
could rest of the year. I'm not just
Yeah.
sitting in a dorm. Like,
I'm going home.
Yeah.
So we're loading stuff, and I think it was like noon or whatever that we started, and by the time we got on the road, it's like 9 p.m. And I'm already tired, dude. Like honestly, like emptying the entire apartment because I don't even know if who knows when we're coming back.
right.
Crazy times. And we both hop on the road, and he actually had his river boat. We'd go fishing and stuff, and he's hooked up to that, and I'm following him, and it's like I'm saying, it's like 18-hour drive, like 1,400 miles or whatever it is, southeast Wyoming, and start at night, dude. And by the time I got just like northern Utah, just past Salt Lake City or whatever, I'm starting to do this, bob my head. It's like you're saying, just pitch, but there's no lights,
Yeah.
just pitch black, and I just see nothing but his trailer tail lights.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like hypnotic.
Yeah, dude, yeah. It
Right,
was
right.
like,
Follow him right off the road.
yeah. And I had like 4 Bang energy drinks, like you're saying, dude. Like you just slam one and nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
It just does nothing.
like-
No effect. Like,
Sweet. But where was it? Was like Mountain Home, Idaho, or somewhere in southern Idaho, dude. It's like 5:30 in the morning or something. I pull into McDonald's and get the breakfast, and I don't know what it was about this ginormous cup of black coffee, but dude, I'm sipping that and the sun comes up and it's like a whole new breath of life. It was insane. Like I found a new love for coffee that day. It was insane because it's cold out. It's like March or whenever it was that it happened, and it's still like 10 degrees outside
Sure,
or whatever
yeah.
it is. So it's like just that hot coffee with the sun coming up, dude. It was like a whole new breath of life, and just nonstop all the way home. And
once that light comes up, it's
it's
at
It
least
definitely
more
changes.
manageable. Yeah,
Yeah.
just going in the pitch dark
you
is
get
just
your
tough,
second
dude.
wind, dude, and it's like, oh, thank God. But the coolest one is my second year coming back out there. It was actually that COVID year, so summer when I came back out there. I went with my parents because we did the deal where we went through Spokane, then down, stayed the night in some super small town in Montana. Then we hit Yellowstone all day.
Awesome.
Super cool, bison, elk, all that good stuff, and then Old Faithful.
Yeah, because you're about this far away, right? The opposite sides, Yellowstone to Wyoming.
Yeah, I think
University?
Yellowstone is like it's
In
the
that
whole
northwest,
opposite
yeah,
side.
yeah.
So it's still like 8 hours away or whatever.
Because
but
in my head, it's like, dude, you live in Wyoming, I'm going to Yellowstone, but it's like
yeah,
that's a long ass trip.
oh yeah, and there's no traffic in Wyoming, so like an 8-hour drive is you're moving some serious miles.
Yeah, yeah.
In an 8-hour drive. But that was just super cool. Because I'd never really been to many national parks other than what's around here, and that was definitely the best one. The whole night, one shot, not fun, horrible. Don't recommend.
Yeah, I had some buddies that drove after we were all kind of getting out after we got back from Afghanistan. They like drove home to like Virginia alone,
Ooh.
and it's just like, dear
That's so gross.
God, man. It's 50-50 at best that I don't drive off the road.
Yeah.
Like I could fall asleep while driving all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's terrible.
Caffeine tip for everybody who's listening. Caffeine's not good at making you more awake. It's good at keeping you from getting more tired. So it's a adenosine reuptake inhibitor, I believe, which means that it keeps the adenosine from telling you that you need to go to sleep. So if you're already tired and you start drinking caffeine, it's not going to be, it's too late. If you know you got like a 16-hour drive, just start sipping on a coffee at 8 a.m. or whatever, and just don't stop until, you want to go sleep.
It compounds, doesn't it? Like once you stop,
Uh-huh.
and it just hits you.
Yeah.
I
Just
got ya.
Smash once it gets out
Just
of you.
straight 12-hour nap.
Yeah. I'm probably messed that up, but I'll look it up. We'll do it. Maybe we'll do a video on caffeine later.
And if truckers have taught us anything, meth.
There you go. Problem solved.
You know,
You get that kind of quality health advice from the
Red Gauge Nutrition, baby.
Don't do meth and drive.
No,
Don't do it.
That's
Don't
obviously
do it.
a joke for the people that down-liked our freaking videos, you bums.
You bums.
No, you're not allowed to like it. We said it from the beginning.
Yeah. So this was kind of a funny question for me because my parents got a divorce when I was 16, and they probably should have got a divorce when I was like 9 or 10 or something. So basically every road trip that I can remember is the worst road trip that I ever went on.
Well, you have to have had one with your kids. What's furthest?
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
your best one is to Olympia.
Yeah. So like since it's the funny thing because I got like a little bit of PTSD about it. They got so weird sometimes.
Yeah, if you're gonna start crying or something, you don't got to share that one.
No,
right?
I'm gonna start crying.
Okay. Just weeping.
It's just that I always, every time we take a road trip, I just assume that it's gonna turn out terrible until
Sure.
it doesn't. So
Yeah.
when we get home, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. But like the whole
You're
time
just
that
waiting
we're
for
going,
the hammer to fall.
yeah. So but yeah, like we took a trip to the ocean that was a ton of fun. My wife and I, before we had kids, did like the 101 loop. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So like
It's a good one.
we've had good ones. I didn't enjoy them when it was happening. But I'm
Yeah,
getting
so
better. You know what I mean? With time.
This was like your PTSD question, right? Or
Yeah.
You're gonna make me start running the questions by you now. Like, you can't ask me about road trips, man.
No, you can ask me about road trips. It's just going to be a sad answer.
Like Joe Dirt.